The sun burns low over Willow Creek Estates, that kind of golden haze settling over the rows of pristine, cookie-cutter homes. It's the kind of place built on appearances. White fences, manicured lawns, HOA newsletters thicker than phone books. Perfect if you don't look too close. I moved here for my daughter. 7-year-old Mia, my whole world, wheels herself across the driveway with that fierce, stubborn grin she wears like armor. Born with spina bifida, she's never walked a day in her life, but that never slowed her. Her wheelchair, her chariot, she calls it, is decked out in rainbow stickers, pinwheels on a handle spinning like little beacons of joy. We're the only black family on this side of the neighborhood. You notice things. The way conversations pause when you walk into HOA meetings. The polite, tight smiles. The extra patrols past our house. Like my daughter might be plotting a heist with sidewalk chalk. Still, mostly, it's been manageable. Until lately. First, it was the parking complaints. A bright yellow HOA warning slapped on my truck window because it was parked too close to the curb. 2 inches, I measured. Then, the garden bed violations, because Mia planted sunflowers in the front yard. No matter that, they made the whole street look better. Little things. Petty things. Easy to brush off. But last week, I caught a woman, mid-50s, crisp beige pantsuit, the kind of haircut that screams, "I want to speak to your manager," lurking near our garage, pretending to inspect the community flower beds, but her eyes stayed fixed on Mia's wheelchair like offended her. I brushed it off, told myself not to go looking for trouble. Tonight, though, there's a scratch. A long, jagged scar down the side of Mia's chair, deep enough to gouge the paint, peel it back like torn skin. Mia doesn't notice right away. She's too busy practicing wheelies in the driveway, laughing so hard she hiccups. But my chest tightens, fists curling. I glance around. Across the street, curtains flutter. A face, blonde hair, stiff mouth, vanishes into the shadows. Something's wrong here. I grip the handles of Mia's chair tighter as we head inside, pretending like everything's fine. But my mind spins. That scratch was an accident. And whoever did it, they're just getting started. The next morning, a notice flaps against our front door like a warning flag. HOA violation. Unauthorized medical equipment in public view. My hands tremble as I read it again. Medical equipment? They're talking about Mia's wheelchair. The world tilts. Mia hums inside, blissfully unaware, spooning cereal into her mouth with messy determination. I crumple the notice in my fist before she can see it. No way I'm letting her think for even a second that her existence is something to be hidden. I step outside, heart hammering. There, across the street, she stands. Beige pantsuit, arms crossed, a clipboard clutched against her chest like a badge of honor. The same woman from before. I watch as she scribbles something, her eyes flickering to our driveway with open disdain. She doesn't even flinch when our eyes lock. Just gives me a tight, fake smile, the kind that doesn't touch her eyes, and turns away. Entitled, I think, dangerous. I shake it off, but it clings to me like humidity. Later that afternoon, Mia begs to go to the cul-de-sac. A rare warm day, perfect for sidewalk chalk battles and races with the neighbor kids. I load her into her chair and push her down the gently sloping sidewalk. Every nerve buzzing. We barely make it halfway before I see it. A freshly painted handicap symbol, crudely drawn in blue spray paint, right on the street. But it's not a mark of welcome. It's a mockery. The figure in the wheelchair is slumped, excess for eyes, tongue sticking out. Dead. Mia gasps. Her little hand flies to her mouth. Why is it dead, Daddy? She whispers. My throat locks. I crouch beside her, heart shattering, shielding her view with my body. Behind us, the woman in the beige suit leans casually against her pristine white SUV, phone in hand, smirking like this is all a big joke, like with a punchline. This is no accident. Still, what do I have? A feeling, a scratch, a stupid cartoon on asphalt. No proof, no witnesses. When we get home, I fire off an email to the HOA, documenting everything. I don't expect a response, but I have to start a paper trail. As I click send, a neighbor's sprinkler hisses to life next door. A thin figure in khakis and a sun visor bends over flower beds, pretending to prune roses while watching us. Mia turns her chair in lazy circles, oblivious to the silent storm gathering around her. I tell myself we're safe. I tell myself I'm overreacting. But deep down I know we're being targeted, and it's only going to get worse. It starts when Mia wheels herself into the driveway, face glowing, a popsicle dripping sticky trails down her fingers. I'm on the porch fixing the wobbly railing when a sharp voice cuts through the warm afternoon. Children aren't allowed unsupervised on community property. The woman snaps, striding toward us with the same clipboard clutched like a weapon. Mia freezes, confused. Her popsicle tilts and drips onto the pavement. I'm her father. I say, stepping down onto the lawn. Calm, controlled, every cell in my body screaming otherwise. She's right in front of our house. The woman's eyes flick over me. Dark skin, jeans smudged with paint, callous hands, and narrow like she spotted graffiti. She lifts the clipboard, tapping it with a polished fingernail. The HOA has rules, sir. Rules everyone is expected to follow. Everyone, meaning us, more than anyone else. And what's your name? I ask. She smiles, thin and triumphant. Mrs. Cheryl Davenport, HOA president. Of course she is. Behind her, two other neighbors drift out. Mr. Parker, the retired Army vet who barely says hello, and Mrs. Simmons, the woman who clutches her purse tighter when we pass by. Backup, witnesses, but not for us. I feel it, the shift. This isn't about Mia. It's about us, about control, about reminding me where we stand. I force my voice steady. You're harassing my daughter over a popsicle. Cheryl's smile doesn't waver. Perhaps if you participated more actively in community meetings, you'd understand the expectations. Translation: stay invisible, stay silent, or pay for it. That night, I sit at the kitchen table, burning through the HOA bylaws online. Line by line, I find nothing. No rules against kids on driveways. No bans on medical equipment in view. It's all lies. Fabrications designed to pressure us out. Rage builds under my skin like steam. But rage won't protect Mia. Proof will. I install a security camera above the garage, aimed at the driveway and front yard. I document every notice, every scratched tire, every sideways glance. I start talking to people. 2. Quiet conversations with neighbors who've kept their distance but whose eyes say they know more than they let on. Mrs. Ruiz, 3 doors down, tells me in hushed tones that Cheryl once reported her for having too many guests when her family visited after her husband's funeral. Mr. Lee at the corner house admits Cheryl circulated a petition to block a black family from moving in last year. He never signed, but he didn't fight it either. Guilt flickers in his eyes. The pattern is clear. Cheryl doesn't just enforce the rules. She weaponizes them. And now, she set her sights on us. The final straw comes one humid evening when I catch Cheryl standing at the edge of our lawn, phone in hand, snapping photos of Mia through the open living room window. That's it. The gloves are off. I call a lawyer. I call the news. If Cheryl Davenport wants a war, she's about to find out exactly how unprepared she is. Saturday afternoon brings a community family day, a smug little event Cheryl orchestrates every year to parade her control. The cul-de-sac is decorated with pastel banners, folding tables groaning under lemonade pitchers and sugar cookies. Children dart between booths. Smiling neighbors drift like bees. And right in the center, with a megaphone in hand, stands Cheryl. Her beige suit is gone, replaced with a starched HOA logo polo. She beams like she owns the sun. Mia tugs at my sleeve. Daddy, can I get my face painted? I force a smile. Of course, baby. As we make our way through the crowd, heads turn. Conversations falter. I feel the weight of 100 eyes, some curious, most cautious. Cheryl spots us and descends like a hawk. Excuse me, she says, her voice dripping syrupy sweetness. Into the megaphone, loud enough for everyone to hear. We ask that properly supervised children participate in events, especially those with special circumstances. The air stiffens. Faces freeze. Mia's smile falters. She clutches her chair's armrests like they might float her away. And Cheryl continues, stepping closer, lowering her voice just enough to feel venomous. Since your equipment is causing congestion, I'm going to have to ask you to relocate to the sidewalk. Equipment. My vision narrows. Blood pounds in my ears. Cheryl smiles wider, thinking she's already won. Thinking that because we're alone, because we're different, we'll back down. I lean down to Mia, brush a curl from her forehead. Hold tight, baby. Then I straighten, facing Cheryl, voice carrying clear across the cul-de-sac. You want me to move my daughter? I ask. Cheryl tilts her chin. For the safety and comfort of everyone, yes. Whispers ripple. Someone coughs awkwardly. Cameras lift. Phone starting to record. Perfect. I reach into my backpack and pull out a tablet. Swipe. Pull up the footage. The grainy video flickers to life on the screen. Cheryl spray painting the dead wheelchair symbol on the asphalt. Cheryl snapping photos through our window. Cheryl crouched at our tires with a screwdriver in the dead of night. Gasps ripple through the crowd. I turn the tablet outward, letting the gathered neighbors see. Letting them see her. You've been harassing my disabled daughter. I say, my voice steady, slicing to the stunned silence. Vandalizing property. Violating privacy laws. Cheryl's face drains of color. She snatches at the tablet, but I pull it back easily. Touch me. I murmur, just loud enough for the mic on her megaphone to pick up, and that's assault. The crowd murmurs louder. People back away from her like she's contagious. But that's not even the best part. I continue, flipping to the next clip, body cam footage. Sheriff's deputies standing in our living room, nodding grimly as I play them the same videos. One deputy turned to the camera and saying, Ms. Davenport, you're under investigation for harassment, vandalism, and civil rights violations. The final nail. Cheryl stumbles back, mouth opening and closing. She looks wildly around, searching for backup, for someone to save her. No one moves. Not Parker. Not Simmons. Not anyone. She's alone, exactly where she put us. For one stretched, breathless moment, Cheryl just stands there, arms twitching at her sides, lips moving without sound. Then she lunges. That's edited, she shrieks, grabbing for the tablet again. Lies. It's all lies. I step back easily. I don't have to defend myself. Not when the whole neighborhood already saw the truth. Mr. Lee from the corner house speaks first, his voice brittle but clear. I saw her outside your house, he says. Late, flashing her camera through the window. Another neighbor, Mrs. Ruiz, lifts her phone, screen gleaming. I have recordings too, she says. Cheryl tried to report me last year for hosting my family. Said I was making the neighborhood unsafe. Her mouth curls in disgust. Cheryl spins wild-eyed. They're lying. They're all lying. You can't trust them. The word hangs in the air, heavy, poisonous. People flinch. Mouths tighten. A few mothers pull their children closer. Even her old allies, the ones who used to nod along, start backing away. And then the sheriff's car turns a corner. Lights flashing. Slow. Deliberate. The crowd parts like a wound. Deputy Foster steps out, sunglasses gleaming under the sun. He's young, sharp-eyed, and black. His badge catches the light as he strides toward us. Ms. Davenport, he says, voice-clipped, you need to come with me. Cheryl gapes. For questioning regarding civil rights violations, harassment of a disabled minor, and property damage. Someone gasps. Someone else claps a hand over their mouth. You're making a mistake. Cheryl screeches, stumbling backward. I'm the HOA president. I make the rules. Deputy Foster doesn't even blink. Not anymore. Another deputy. This one older, stone-faced, cuffs her hands behind her back. The click of the handcuffs echoes across the cul-de-sac. Louder than the kids, louder than the murmuring parents, louder than Cheryl's high, keening protests. I know my rights, she cries as they guide her to the car. I'm a respected member of this community. My husband's on the board. You can't treat me like this. The door slammed shut behind her, cutting off her voice like a guillotine. Deputy Foster turns to me and Mia, offering a small, respectful nod. We'll be in touch, he says quietly. And thank you for bringing this forward. People like her don't get to hide behind fake authority forever. Mia clutches my hand tighter. I squeeze back, heart hammering with a mix of triumph and lingering rage. As the cruiser pulls away, a heavy, stunned silence settles over the crowd. Mrs. Simmons suddenly finds the grass fascinating. Mr. Parker mutters something about not knowing and hurries inside. But a few neighbors, Mrs. Ruiz, Mr. Lee, a young couple from down the block, drift closer. You coming to the next HOA meeting? Mrs. Ruiz asks, smiling a little. Might be time for some leadership changes. For the first time since we moved here, I feel the neighborhood breathing differently, like the roots are shifting, like maybe, just maybe, the soil can be rebuilt. The for sale sign appears overnight, tilting the yard like a final, broken threat. Her car is gone. Her title, HOA president, stripped. Her reputation, shredded across every neighborhood forum, every whispered conversation, every furious parent group chat. Turns out pepper spraying a disabled child isn't just a moral disgrace. It's a crime, civil suits, criminal charges, federal investigations under the ADA. Her husband, once smug and silent, files for divorce. By the time local news picks up the story, Cheryl is a pariah, a walking, weeping cautionary tale. I watch it unfold from my front porch, the warm buzz of summer drifting through the air. Mia is beside me, sketching something in her notebook, tiny, fierce strokes of her pencil. What's you drawing, baby? I ask. She looks up, grinning wide. A superhero. She holds it up proudly. It's a girl in a wheelchair, wearing a cape made of flames. I blink hard against the sudden sting in my eyes. Out on the street, new families stroll by. Faces I haven't seen before. Black, brown, white, Filipino, multiracial, all woven into the slow heartbeat of our community. They smile, they wave, like we're finally seen, like we finally belong. At the next HOA meeting, yes, I went, Mrs. Ruiz stands at the front of the room, gavel in hand. We're proposing some bylaw changes, she announces, voice crisp. First up, stricter protections against harassment, disability discrimination, and racial profiling. Applause thunders against the walls. Not polite claps. Real applause. I catch Mr. Lee's eye across the room. He nods once, like we're part of something bigger now. Something stitched together by survival, by anger, by hope. Afterward, people gather outside, milling around under the soft porch lights. A neighbor I barely know, young, white, baseball cap in hand, shuffles awkwardly up to me. I just want to say, he mutters, scratching the back of his neck, I'm sorry for not speaking up sooner. It wasn't right what happened to you, or to your little girl. I study him for a long moment, not because I'm angry, but because I know how rare real accountability is. Finally, I offer my hand. Thank you, I say simply. Small steps, big changes. As Mia wheels ahead of me into the warm night, her hair catching the streetlights like a halo, I feel something I hadn't in a long time. Not just relief, not just vindication. Pride. We stood up. We fought back. We won. And we didn't just survive Cheryl's hate. We burned it down and built something better in its ashes. Mia wheels around, laughing, her cape sketch fluttering in her hand. Race you home, Mom. I laugh, loud, free, unafraid, and run after her. Our laughter rises up into the stars, unstoppable. This is our street now, our home, our story, and no one will ever take that from us again.